Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe, Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Gaura Premanande. Jai Vishupad Paramahamsa Pri Vradikacharya Stotra Satya Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Teraboy Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Kambiviti Founder Charya's Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Samavata Bhakti Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to see Guru and to see Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada Ki. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksudanmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhuktale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jita Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Sya Srirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanditam Shyam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kancana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Brahmchaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta praya sabadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati tamasloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed or practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nistreya Sayalokasya Dhanyam Swasyayanam Mahat. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God as Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Sarabhyaya Namaha. Om Sarabhyaya Namaha. Om Sarabhyaya Namaha. Mukam karoti vasalam pangum langayate girim. Yat kripat maham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Yat kripat maham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Welcome everyone to our morning Srimad Bhagavatam class, continuing from Canto number 1, chapter 19, entitled The Appearance of Shukadeva Goswami. Today we're looking at text number 32, huh? Yes. Parikshit Uvacha Aho Adya Vayam Brahman Sat Sevya Kshatra Bandhava Kripayatiti Rupena Bhavadvis Tirtakaha Kritaha Parikshit Uvacha Aho Adya Vayam Brahman Sat Sevya Kshatra Bandhava Kripayatiti Rupena Bhavadvis Tirtaka Kritaha Parikshit Uvacha Aho Adya Vayam Brahman Sat Sevya Kshatra Bandhava Kripayatiti Rupena Bhavadvis Tirtaka Kritaha Parikshit Uvacha Aho Adya Vayam Brahman Satsevya Kshatra Bandhava Kripayatiti Rupena Bhavadvis Tirtaka Kritaha Aho Adya Vayam Brahman Satsevya Kshatra Bandhava Kripayatiti Rupena
Parikshit Uvacha Aho Adya Vayam Brahman
Aho Adya Vayam Brahman
Satsevayam Kshatra Bandhaha
Satsevya Kshatra Bandhava
Kripayatiti Rupena
Kripayatiti Rupena
Bhavadishtirtaka Kritaha
Bhavadvis Tirtaka Kritaha
Parikshit Uvacha
Parikshit Uvacha
Aho Adya Vayam Brahman
Aho Adya Vayam Brahman
Satsevya Kshatra Bandhava
Satsevya Kshatra Bandhava
Kripayatiti Rupena
Kripayatiti Rupena
Bhavadishtirtaka Kritaha
Bhavadvis Tirtaka Kritaha Parikshit Uvacha. The fortunate Maharaj Parikshit said, Aho, Adya, today, Vayam, we, Brahman, O Brahmanas, Satsevyaha, eligible to serve the devotee, Kshatra, the ruling class, Bandhavaha, friends, Kripaya, by your mercy, Atiti Rupena, in the manner of a guest, Bhavadbihi, by your good self, Tirtakaha, qualified for being places of pilgrimage, Kritaha, done by you. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. The fortunate king Parikshit said, O Brahmana, by your mercy only you have sanctified us, making us like unto places of pilgrimage, all by your presence here as my guest. By your mercy, we, who are but unworthy royalty, become eligible to serve the devotee. Kindly repeat after me. The fortunate King Parikshit said, O Brahmana, by your mercy only, you have sanctified us, making us like unto places of pilgrimage, all by your presence here as my guest. By your mercy, we, who are but unworthy royalty, become eligible to serve the devotee. Purport. Saintly devotees like Shukadeva Goswami generally do not approach worldly enjoyers, especially those in royal orders. Maharaj Prataparudra was a follower of Lord Chaitanya, but when he wanted to see the Lord refused to see him because he was a king. For a devotee who desires to go back to Godhead, two things are strictly prohibited: worldly enjoyers and women. Therefore, devotees of the standard of Shukadeva Goswami are never interested in seeing kings. Maharaj Parikshit was, of course, a different case. He was a great devotee, although a king, and therefore Shukadeva Goswami came to see him in his last stage of life. Maharaj Parikshit, out of his devotional humility, felt himself an unworthy descendant of his great Kshatriya forefathers, although he was as great as his predecessors. The unworthy sons of the royal orders are called Kshatriya Bandhavas, or the unworthy sons, as the unworthy sons of the Brahmanas are called Dvijabandhu, or Brahmabandhus. Maharaj Parikshit was greatly encouraged by the presence of Shukadeva Goswami. He felt himself sanctified by the presence of the great saint, whose presence turns any place into a place of pilgrimage. Translation again. The fortunate King Parikshit said, O Brahmana, by your mercy only, you have sanctified us, making us like unto places of pilgrimage, all by your presence here as my guest. By your mercy, we, who are but unworthy royalty, have become eligible to serve the devotee. So it is understood generally those who are involved in worldly matters, especially those who are kings in the royal order, they have so many opportunities actually for sense gratification. And unless they are very um, fortunate souls like Parikshit Maharaj, um, who from birth are given opportunity to take up the devotional life, generally, uh, as mentioned here in the purport by Srila Prabhupada, saintly persons do not mix so closely with people in the royal order, and in general do not mix. And that is one of the standing instructions given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Asat Sanga Tyaga E Vaishnava, E Vaishnavachar. Yeah. One who is a Vaishnava, Vaishnava means one who is fixed on the primary goal and objective of life, who is striving for self-realization, Atma Gyan, who's always seeking the good association of saintly persons, of advanced devotees, and therefore who is very reluctant and who is also very cautious to mingle or too closely associate with worldly minded persons. Worldly minded persons fall in the category of asat. So there is sat and asat. The devotees are, sat means what is eternal, what is our eternal uh, benefit. And just to give example, Prabhupada is immediately giving the well-known example of King Prataparudra. 500 years ago, um, Lord Chaitanya, to set the standard or to show by example, he especially uh, would not closely associate with people in the royal order, uh, and also he would not allow, as we know, women to even offer obeisances from a close distance. I don't know, quite some distance they had to remain to offer obeisances. And Prabhupada points out how these are the two great um, dangers that in life, uh, Prabhupada puts it here, worldly enjoyers. Uh, Means karmis, we say karmis, those who are simply on the body platform, uh, engaged in activities of sense gratification. And then women. Of course, Prabhupada clarifies about women. Uh, Women for men are women, uh, and generally, if a man is not Krishna conscious, he will see them as object of sense enjoyment, and the opposite is also there. For women who are also not Krishna conscious, they see men as object of sense gratification. So here we have two very exalted personalities. Mm, Parikshit Maharaj, uh, who was very elevated, uh, totally on the level of Paramahamsa, uh, knew the uh, knew about Parikshit Maharaj, and therefore, although knew, yes, about Parikshit Maharaj, and although he was a king, um, he chose to bestow his mercy upon him by coming to this assembly of mostly, from what is being narrated here, many kings. Uh, Parikshit Maharaj is speaking on behalf of the assembled uh, kings who are there, uh, mentioning how you're very kind to give your association to us fallen souls. Uh, Actually, in the seventh canto, similar kind of pastime, similar kind of mood is expressed by Yudhisthira Maharaj when Narada Muni comes to his palace. Uh, one who is uh, in the royal order, or those generally who are in family life, that the tendency or the danger is to become, because family life is compared to as a concession for sense gratification. I mean, whether one is in family life or not, the body needs certain basic, there are certain needs of the body. The body needs to be gratified in terms of some basic necessities like food or taking or giving minimal care to the body. But even in householder life, um, mm, that is meant to be very much uh, regulated. Uh, and um, this is nicely being uh, expressed here that um, that's why householders especially um, seek out, are meant to seek out. It's one of the, we could say, daily activities that's explained in the Shastra. Prabhupada also gave his father as an example, who every day would invite sadhus, brahmanas, to his home, and he would feed them. He would prepare prasadam. His wife would prepare prasadam. So therefore, the need or the importance of seeking out the good association of saintly persons, and when saintly persons, generally, especially those in the renounced order of life, sannyasis, are meant to travel actually to, because generally householders, of course nowadays, householders travel, but for a different purpose, for, for making a living. One family was here just a few days ago. One has to, uh, it's like that everywhere pretty well. One has to spend so much time either on a daily basis, or sometimes people go away for weeks, or sometimes even for years actually. Uh, there are people working in the Gulf countries, uh, just trying to make some extra money, but there are many people from not only India but other countries as well, uh, and therefore are separated mm, from their family members, uh, which is why in the Vedic culture such kind of situations are not encouraged. Means one should be meeting one's necessities of life uh, close by to where one is living. One should not be unnecessarily traveling as we do in modern day society. localized living, which is a very important aspect of the Vedic culture. Majority of people are meant to be localized, are meant to meet their different daily needs or necessities of life. Um, if if they follow the recommended process in terms of occupation that is mentioned in the Shastra, and only a few individuals are meant to actually travel for that very purpose of uh, bringing or sharing this knowledge of spiritual life or Krishna consciousness. And this is nicely pointed out here also how the very presence of such saintly persons who are fully dedicated in the service of the Lord, everywhere they go, that whole place, that place actually becomes a holy place, a place of pilgrimage. So you can just imagine how Srila Prabhupada, um, he traveled to so many countries, to so many places here in India as well, um, simply for the purpose of uh, making those persons fortunate by giving them that opportunity of coming in contact with this knowledge of Krishna consciousness. That's uh, that's the business, primary business and responsibility, actually, of all devotees. And we see that also taking place a lot during the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Not only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled, but his grihastas, many of his grihastas, in particular Nityananda Prabhu, he was constantly traveling, mostly in Bengal, because he had been ordered by Lord Chaitanya, don't leave Bengal. But Nityananda Prabhu, being Avadut, had difficulties following that order, and he every year would accompany the devotees to go to Jagannath Puri to have darshan of Lord Chaitanya. So although Parikshit Maharaj is such an exalted personality, uh, when he is in front, uh, having that great opportunity of having darshan of a personality like Shukadeva Goswami, he immediately takes on a very humble position, and which is something we were reading, of course, recently. How what is meant to be the mood and the mentality of all those who wish to actually receive transcendental knowledge, who wish to receive the blessings of saintly persons, both the both the speaker of the Bhagavatam as well as the receiver, those who are hearing, or both the teacher and the student need to have the proper mental attitude, mental disposition. I think within a few minutes we will need a few volunteers. I think maybe only 2 devotees, those who are up to it, young and energetic. Young and energetic. Haribol, yes, that's me. Okay, yeah. No, Sabha. Yes, it's called manpower. Power, manpower. We don't, the expression manpower is significant. We don't hear about women power.
Yes.
Well, nowadays we do, I suppose. But traditionally, manpower, because physically, at least, I mean, biologically, uh, generally, may not always be the case, but the body of men are, you know, who usually lifts up the bucket of water? It's the men, the hard labor. That's why when mm, when we had the Govardhan Puja, mm, that Sadhivud from Orissa, is not from Orissa actually, Madhavananda, Madhavananda,
Yes.
right? You were here when he spoke a little bit? Yeah, spoke very nicely. Uh, but in the beginning, he was recalling, we had some conversation about Varnashram some years back, and he was making that nice point, which I was making at that time actually, how our, our, our nature comes out more easily, more spontaneously when we are just like now. Just like now, it's like, there's heavy work to be done. So naturally, the younger persons uh, naturally get up and rise to the occasion, so to speak. And that's one of the important reasons why we need to establish communities where such type of natural, situation or environment can be created, so that people natures just respond according to the situation. Yeah.
Well, it reminds me that when I was in America a long time, I stayed. One thing I noticed, see, everywhere they have this landscaping people.
Landscaping.
They're all Mexican men mostly.
Okay.
You never find any women in
Okay.
that roles. Despite of all the emphasis, they're mostly on office desk jobs.
Right.
Then they talk about women empowerment and taking up roles. It's all mostly
Landscaping. You mean landscaping usually means doing with the land.
yeah, land cutting, gardening. Like
I mean, it's quite hard,
yes,
quite demanding.
you only find men. Similarly, construction roles.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
all you find. Though there is equality
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
fortunately, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't find a lot of
Yes. Yes.
women
Correct.
taking up
Yes. Yes. Those are good
body
examples.
politics.
Correct. Yes.
But it's a corporate role. You want to be like CEO, VP, or office desk jobs, management.
Yes. Yes. That's so. It's a very logical thing also, that the more we are living naturally, then our respective tendencies and natures will, you know, it's like when we see a picture, uh, agriculture, traditional agriculture, generally, who's behind the bullocks plowing? Who usually plows?
Men.
The men plows. And who do the hard work, physical work? The men, because they have the strength, and the body is meant for that purpose. So yeah, and that's why the whole modern uh, setup is largely very, very artificial, and therefore we have this artificial uh, so-called equality of gender, uh, which is of course being surpris. I'll just leave it on the chair. It's okay. Which is being very highly and we could say aggressively promoted all of the world, but actually it is artificial in so many ways. the We fail to understand, we fail to accept, uh, not we as devotees generally. It's one of the tenets or beliefs of modern day society, of those who are also intellectuals, that there is no such thing as perfection or absolute. Nothing is absolute, right? That's a whole modern way of thinking. Everything is relative and experimental. And as we discover new things, then the so-called truth changes. I mean, yeah. Whereas our approach, uh, those who follow the Vedic culture, we uh, we have that understanding. We believe in the absolute truth. There is such a thing as the absolute truth, and we also believe that even within the material world, there is, as explained in the Shastra, there is such a thing as an ideal. Even we use the term perfect society, isn't it? The perfect society, the perfect family life. Um, Although we are here in the material world, so these principles that are being mentioned here, um, and this is a point that Prabhupada was making also, emphasizing the need and the importance to reintroduce or reestablish the presently lost connection and relationship between the Brahmana class and the Kshatriya class. Here, Shukadeva Goswami is representing the Brahmana class, and Parikshit Maharaj is representing the Kshatriya class. And these are the two most, because they are the natural leaders in society, unless they very closely cooperate with one another, then society cannot properly be arranged. So that's why we have this double or dual, we could say, responsibility. And directly Prabhupada would instruct his devotees, his disciples in America, to introduce or to train both Brahmana class and Kshatriya class. And when Prabhupada spoke about Kshatriya class, he meant Kshatriya class, I mean, he used the word Kshatriya. And Kshatriya, the science of, you could say, Kshatriya hood, which is actually monarchy, is described fully in the pages of the Bhagavatam and the Vedic culture. And that is why, uh, at least, even though we may not be able to, um, enthrone someone as a king, in at least presently in society, what we can do and what we should do is learn the underlying principles upon which Vedic kings, Rajarshis, were functioning and ruling, which we're actually not doing, isn't it? Because of so many different reasons, but that will be attended to, or that will be taken up. It will only be taken up when we actually understand the need to introduce Varnashram studies, Varnashram college, basically, where the sciences for the three main leaders in society. When we think about it, that's what the whole concept of Chaturvidya is all about. Systematically teaching, and that's why Prabhupada also mentioned that Varnashram college is not for women, because within the Varnashram college that Prabhupada was speaking about, the the sciences that are meant to be taught, which is the science for Brahmanas, the science for Kshatriyas, and the science for Vaishyas, is a science for rulers, for leaders within society, which is uh, traditionally when we live a normal, natural, Vedic way of life, is specifically intended for, it is gender based. Like it or not, it is gender based.
Like women, they don't have varna.
Hmm?
Technically speaking, women, they don't have varna
Yes,
of their own.
yes,
Like Narad Muni, when he gives the instructions of different
yeah,
varnashrams in the
correct,
seventh canto, he says duties of Brahmana, duties of Kshatriya, duties of Vaishyas, duty of Sudra, and duty of women.
correct. Yeah,
So
yeah, you're
different
right.
classes.
He didn't
Yes,
mix them.
yes.
You're correct. Yeah, that's a very important point. That's in the 11th canto. I'm sorry, 11th chapter of the 7th chapter.
Seventh
Correct.
canto.
Yeah, and he he explains, as you just mentioned, the specific qualities and nature, let's say, for Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra in 4 verses. And then for another 5 verses, he speaks about the duties and responsibilities and qualities of women. I mean, how clear can it be?
Yes.
Uh, and yes,
Yes, but right, we see that even we Lord Chaitanya was very
the
careful.
devil's advocate is speaking. Oh, no, go ahead.
But you explained that Lord Chaitanya was very careful to not to mix with women, with sannyasi.
Yes,
But we see now in our ISKCON society,
yes.
I mean,
We don't follow that.
we don't follow that. So actually, if we don't follow the leader, sannyasi in ISKCON don't follow, what can we expect ordinary people to follow anything about Varnashram or about
Yes, yes. Therefore, the principles of Varnashram should first be taught.
to sannyasi?
I won't finish the sentence. Yes, these very underlying and basic principles that are there actually in the Vedic culture, and which in many ways are concealed or hidden. Um, it is also part of what we call Guyam.
Too much freedom.
I was beginning a little bit to have this realization how in the context of Vedic knowledge and Vedic culture, it's not only spiritual knowledge that is Guyam, you know. When you stop and think about it, one would think that, well, of course, things material, it's obvious, but it's not obvious. So many things. I mean, even small example, the science of agriculture, the science of taking care of cows. These two being foremost activities actually in the Vedic culture, if we agree to follow the lifestyle, which is based on Krishi Guraksha, there's a whole forgotten science, practically completely forgotten science. And therefore, you know, uh, people's minds have been allured to easy way of life or, sense gratification. Let me get a good job so I can get a car. I can be normal like everyone, they say. And if you don't allow your son or daughter to get modern education, then you're doing a disservice to them, which is totally the opposite, you know. So that requires some preliminary, basic philosophical understanding, which is lacking. Um, I mean, totally lacking in general modern day society, and is also unfortunately very much lacking within our own devotee society as well. Uh, and um, therefore, yeah, the need to not only read and distribute Srila Prabhupada's books, but the need to study them deeply, and the need to also uh, demonstrate in our daily lives and through our different communities. Our main focus actually should be to establish communities, rural communities specifically, uh, villages. Um, I I was talking about this just yesterday. I mean, it's such a central theme that unfortunately we have neglected for so many, not only years but decades, uh, and that is not not good, to say the least. Yeah. Any addition? Yes.
I had two comments. One important thing you mentioned was that people being away from their family for work-related reasons.
For which reason?
Work, or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
like
Correct.
trade or whatever, they're traveling. And it seems that while this might have existed in the past, it is furthermore aggravated in Kali Yuga. And we find this in earlier in the previous chapters, the conversation between Dharma and Mother Cow. He's asking many questions why you are so sad and miserable. One of the questions Dharma asks Mother Cow is Dure Bandhusi Sochasi Kanchan Amba. Oh mother, are you lamenting because your near and dear one is away from you?
Mm,
And then the purport Prabhupada mentions that this is one of the symptoms of Kali Yuga, to be being
yes.
away from family members.
Yes. And cows are part of the family members.
Exactly.
Right. Yes.
And Prabhupada actually was critical about travel, convenience of mass travel, as well as, of course, he used it for preaching, but in general, he was not very supportive of it, and he specifically criticized transport.
Yes.
I think it was Mayapur itself, from morning walk conversation, he mentioned that this transportation has ruined everything. He says
Mm,
in the village the cabbage is growing, it's available for 30 paise, but the farmer is thinking, hey, I can send it to Kolkata and make 30 rupees.
yes.
And then that is just destroying all the local economy.
Yes.
And in Kolkata, some babu is sitting on a desk with a phone, is adding no value, but he's just accumulating artificial money and he's manipulating the system.
Yes.
So he's extremely critical about
Yes.
transportation
Yes.
as
Yes. Yes.
destroying Vedic culture.
Yes. One time when the devotee was asking, because Prabhupada was talking about bullock carts, and the devotee was asking, is this really practical? And Prabhupada, yes. He says you can go from Mayapur to Calcutta just overnight. I mean, bullock cart, they do it once or twice. You can just sleep there and wake up
Yeah.
the next morning in Calcutta if you need to go to Calcutta at all. um, so yes, um, just if we can just calculate, probably somebody has already, how much of land we've destroyed, forest, trees. Like in India here, cutting down so many hundreds and thousands of banyan trees to make our roads. How much land is covered by asphalt? How much land is being suffocated? Mother Bhumi is like cannot breathe. When you put, I mean, uh, the land is. I mean, Bhumi is living entity. She's suffocating. She's um, and we have, like in the cities, right? It's like We used to have bridges. Now you have super highway over,
Flyovers.
flyover.
On
Yeah,
top of each other.
right. It's like, for somebody who's never been in the city, and if he's taken in the car, wow.
That's what
Keep
my
to the right.
reaction.
Keep to the right.
Mm.
It's like um, people. People are like robot-like practically. You have to because you have to follow the whole system, mechanized system. So yeah, transportation has very much ruined and destroyed not only physically but actually the lives of individuals because you have to be in a car or an airplane. People fly a lot. Um, so yes, uh, and every year manufacturing more and more because everybody wants to have a car. In America, families, every member of the family has their own car, and yes,
Sometimes we use very often the term Yukta Vairagya.
Yukta Vairagya. Yes, yes.
We can have very luxury for Krishna consciousness.
It's one of the devotees' favorite lines.
Yes.
Of course, Yukta Vairagya is there, but generally it is not properly.
Used.
Yeah.
What percentage of time are we using it for Krishna's service opposed to our own service? Prabhupada was critical of conveniences.
Yes.
One of the comments he made was, Prabhupada, this is very convenient. He says, but convenience means you will use for sinful, convenience to do more sinful or
Right.
activities.
Yes. Yes.
Another time he mentioned, Prabhupada, this is so convenient, we can do our services faster. He says, what about engagement of devotees? It's better to do things inefficiently and engage everyone than to do something efficiently that people are not engaged.
Right. Yes. Srila Prabhupada reminded us of the dangers of. He would say you can use different machines as long as it's not going to create unemployment. As long as it will not create unemployment. Put devotees or people.
Have to be engaged.
Yeah. Yeah. So the more we depend on machines, this is what largely has happened, and of course, this is looming, especially with AI, putting people out of jobs and creating, I don't know what is the average in terms of unemployment, but unemployment means idle mind, right? People are not properly engaged. So when one is on the mental platform uh, and not Krishna conscious, mental platform means not being Krishna conscious, then he thinks of all kinds of sinful activities and also engages in all kinds of, because he's not properly engaged. Prabhupada would say how in the Vedic culture no one is unemployed.
Unemployment came about only after industrialization. Before that, there was no concept of unemployment.
Right. The word, I think, did not even exist, practically. Unemployed was that. Just like who was telling me? Yeah, I think my godbrother, Abhiram Prabhu, who's preaching in Rajasthan, uh, to some, very traditional villages where people rarely see foreigners and don't know very much about, Western. Thank God, some people don't know about Western civilization. And he was telling that one time I was talking and I used the word, divorce. He said, "What's that?" What does that? What does divorce mean? I never heard of it. And that was, Prabhupada explains how in the Vedic culture, which was based on arranged marriage, scientifically arranged marriage, that there was no thought about separation or divorce. It's it's part of the so-called modern advanced civilization. that went quite well. Okay, I think we're close to 7. We can close for now. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Jai Sri Prabhupada Ki. Gaura Premanandi. Hare Krishna. L'honneur. Oui.